All right, welcome back. We are continuing on with our lecture series for the Intro to Foods or Foods and Nutrition course. Today we'll be covering microwaves, as in microwave ovens. So we'll begin with the advantages and some advice pertaining to them. The advantages are microwaves are great because, well, they're convenient, they're fast. The foods tend to be cheaper for the microwaves. In addition, they're great for warming up leftovers. Let's face it, quick chuck it in, heat up that pasta dish, leftover lasagna type thing, soups. In many cases, compared to some of the other cooking methods, i.e. frying, they retain nutrients much better. Can taste better. I say can, not always, because let's face it, microwave French fries, no, they do not taste better. And then defrosting meats. Microwaves is probably the third best way to defrost meats quickly. Advice: turn the food. Rotate the food. Work with it. Break it down into smaller pieces. That helps get the microwaves in evenly throughout the cooking process and allow large items to stand for complete defrosting. Items that should be used immediately. Don't let it rest too long, otherwise you're going to pretty much do it all over again or make it go bad. And that includes softening brown sugar. So if it's hardened up a bit, it's kind of made a brick, go ahead, put some water into a cup and then have a bowl of brown sugar on the side. Put those two in the microwave and the steam will help soften it up. Refreshing or reconstituting dry fruits like raisins and cherries, especially if you're going to use it in a batter for muffins or quick breads. Refreshing snacks and chips. Now, myself, mostly that stuff just doesn't last long enough to get to that point, but if it does, meh, is it worth it? Or through the whole stale, if it's completely stale, will it make it better? No, it's more of it's on the edge of going. And eliminating extra oils and fats in preparing food. Yes, absolutely. Those bacon trays, it's amazing how much fat can get rendered out of bacon in the microwave. Overall, microwaves have made a great impact on today's lifestyle and cooking habits. Absolutely. With most households anymore being both parties work, the husband and the wife, we just don't have the time anymore, so it's a quick method to heat up food. Again, reheating foods. It's convenience. You don't have to be a knowledgeable cook to work a microwave. Just about anybody can use it. Cook foods quickly with higher quality, tastes better, looks better, and color enhanced. Well, I'm going to kind of argue that one. I don't fully agree with that, but in some cases, yes. In fact, food stylists for magazines and commercials will work with microwaves because they know how to falsify appearance by adding brown sugars and cinnamons and liquid smokes to create a visually appealing product. Overall, microwaves have been around and used since 1945. So unacceptable and unacceptable dishes and coverings to go in the microwave. Acceptable: paper, plastic, glass, and microwavable dishes. Here's the side note on that one. It needs to be deemed as microwave safe, and that includes plastics and glass. Not all are equal. Some glass are known to break in the microwave, and as for plastics, I come from a household where I have a mother that saves everything. Deli tubs, butter tubs, because then it can be a storage container for something else. Problem is, if let's say you have that leftover butter tub and it has dyes in it and you go ahead and reheat food in it, those dyes can be leached out into your food, those carcinogenics, because many plastics like that are not made to be microwavable safe. Also, they can flat out melt, so you need to ensure that's what they state. Unacceptable dishes for microwave: metal and dishes with gold or silver on it. What I'm talking about is like your mom's fine chinaware, where it's all porcelain and ceramics and have etchings on it and like pewter rims. That stuff can get into your food and also cause arcing. Acceptable coverings for microwave dishes include paper towels, wax paper, and plastic wrap. Please, as a caution, Do not seal the food. Seal the dish with the plastic wrap or the wax paper, because what will happen is the pressure builds up, the steam builds up, and it will cause an explosion. You do need to vent. That's why in your prepackaged microwavable meals, they'll say lift a corner or cut so many holes or whatever, because you do need to allow that to happen. Foods that should not be microwaved. Eggs in shell. They'll explode. Pancakes. I'm saying pouring batter onto a plate and expecting that to set up. It won't form a crust. It'll come out as this jiggly, foamy, kind of like spongy thing. Popcorn. Bulk popcorn. Not your microwavable bag popcorn, and that's the same with your microwavable pancakes and toaster things and stuff like that. That's been engineered for microwaves. Your standard bulk popcorn. Okay. I will argue this one. On popcorn, there is a trick to microwave bulk popcorn in a bowl, but you have to add water. You have to have a certain plate to seal. You have to create the correct ambiance. So in essence, you're making your own bag system. Canning food does not get enough pressure to create a safe seal, thus preventing foodborne illness. Deep frying foods. As I made the comment about French fries, reheating French fries in the microwave and how gross they are, same thing for frying foods in the microwave. You cannot stabilize that fat, so it won't fry something all the way through. Large amounts of foods, i.e. you cannot chuck a chicken in the microwave and expect it to come out well. If you do actually get it cooked all the way through, that thing is dead. It is a leather shoe. Throw it away because it's just no good. And if it still comes out moist, plan your trip to the ER, because more than likely salmonella poisoning is on its way. So techniques for microwaving: stirring, turning, standing time, shielding, covering, arranging foods in a circular shape, rotating, pricking, and selecting foods of the same size. Nearly all of these, except for standing time, deal with moving foods and protecting foods for an even cooking method. So again, stirring, pulling it to the heat to the center, turning over, rotating, covering, shielding, and arranging foods. All that kind of stuff creates an even cooking. Pricking on it, however, I should say, that prevents explosions. So again, baked potatoes, you need to stab them so that they don't explode in the microwave. And that goes with selecting foods of the same size, even cooking. Covering, that helps speeds it up, but also it retains moisture and it protects splattering. Shielding is where they say you could take foil and deflect microwaves. Okay, I'm going to talk about this right here, right now, before I forget. Metal in microwaves. Technically speaking, yes, you can put metal in the microwave. Should you? No. The reason why is there are some pastry chefs that they have special bowls that are metal. They use it for chocolates because metal is the only thing that actually deflects microwaves, as in the energy. So in a microwave oven, the big box that you put your food in, close the door and put the timer on. That oven has two things in it called a magnetron. The magnetron spins and creates frequency, an energy wave, kind of like. And think of it as a high school dance where it starts off slow, but next thing you know, good music's coming on, and everybody's dancing in the same pack, right on the floor together. And instead of spreading out, you guys stay packed together, and the energy starts heating up the place. Same thing in a microwave. So it creates friction. And the friction is what attacks the food to heat it up. And it works from outside to inside on food. Shielding, metal is the only thing that deflects microwaves, that doesn't permit penetration, I guess you could say. So pastry chefs will use metal bowls to slow down the melting process of chocolate. Standing time. Standing time is very, 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 very important. Standing time is equal to the actual cooking time. So while that microwave's lit up and it's going, that is active cooking time. When it finishes, do not be that person to quickly open the door. Let it sit there about half the amount of active cooking time, because what's happening is standing time, the microwaves are still moving and the food is still finishing the cooking process. All right, some cooking hints. Foods at a refrigerator and freezer temperature takes longer than those at room. Yeah, absolutely. Density affects cooking time. The heavier the food, the more dense it is, the longer it takes. Yeah. So if you have a really large, heavy baked potato and you have a small one, which one's going to finish sooner? Obviously the small one. Bony pieces of chicken put on the outside. So like your legs, your wings and stuff, like the bonier pieces, if you put them on the outside and the meatier parts on the inside, you're more likely to get it all cooked evenly. Microwaves move, entering the food from the outside edges. Yep. So with that, we've already talked about microwave containers include plastic, paper, and glass. Lids should be plastic wrap, paper towels, wax paper, or a lid. But as long as you ventilate, it's good for holding in moisture and prevent splattering. On that note, always cover your food. Always. Because it splatters and steam escapes and it goes up to the ceiling of the microwave and on the doors. It doesn't just disappear. So if somebody put their food in there, microwaved, and it splatters, and then you go in with your food uncovered, the microwaves will heat it back up again because it can't differentiate the food, and it'll drip back into your food, which is really gross. Ladies and gentlemen, please, 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 in your notes, make sure you circle or star this one. When microwaving foods, microwaves are attracted to fat, sugar, and water molecules. Those are the three things that microwaves are most attracted to, not flours. So when you're microwaving nachos, the microwaves go after the cheese on the nachos. And if you've ever noticed that sometimes like half the plate gets microwaved and the other half can stay whole shreds, that's because you're using at the wrong power wattage. Not everything should be done at high. It's better to go at, let's say, a 70% and do it longer so that you're not likely to burn the cheese or like cook it to the plate, but have a nice even cooking all the way through. So read your manual. Manuals are good. Microwaves move at different power wattages, and that all affects your food in your cooking process. And when cooking in a microwave, the volume of food versus such as small versus large potatoes, and the quantity or number will increase the cooking and standing time. Absolutely. Okay, I'm going to stop here for part 1, and then we'll pick up part 2 in the next viewing. Thank you.